Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon, and tonight we're going to be working on a little game called Feast of Legends, the Clapback. And actually what I should do is rename the stream. There we are. So, what is Feast of Legends? Feast of Legends is a game that was made by Wendy's to promote Wendy's. Critical Role played it. It was subsequently taken down by Critical Role because Matt Mercer didn't want to buy his Porsche too much. And so looking at this, what I did was effectively redo the entire game from the ground up almost, but still keep its core ideas. And what Feast of Legends is, at its core, is a D20 heartbreaker. And not a very good one at that. There was a lot of little pieces to... Oh, goodness. Blog. Down to shake, and suddenly now my guts are on fire. This is great. I love it. But what it started as was, again, it's a marketing campaign, and it's not a very good one. There was a lot of little parts to it that if you sat down and actually took time to look at it, you realize it didn't work. And by it didn't work is it just plain flat broke. If you looked at it too hard, there was a bunch of rules that didn't make a lot of sense. And there was also a lot of TMs because they had to add in like Wendy's branded things. So it was like, here's the Baconator. What does the Baconator do? It's just a big smashy class. All right, cool. What, huh? But I managed to... I got mad at this thing. Very mad. So I decided to just go through and just critique it. This is 9 pages worth of critiques and just me talking to myself almost. As you can see, Notepad Anon on Suicide Watch helped this sad man. So one of the things with the original system was that everything was rolled with 4d4, which was really weird to me. Because normal way you roll stats in, say, D&D is either 4d6 drop the lowest, 3d6 down the middle, or variations of that with d6s. But the fact it was 4d4 led to this weird curve occurring. Here's what I can do, actually. Also, if you don't use any dice, you're doing something horribly wrong with your life. So, if we look here, this is what 4d4 produces. And you see, it produces the highest likelihood of something that you're going to make is going to be 17% effectively to make 10. And going off the original bits of it, it was effectively... That was like your +1 stats, so characters were really weird in that, and the only way to gain attributes was actually to wear certain equipment, like, and I shit you not in this regard, a, like, manager's apron, or, like, the weird, like, bill. And mind you, all the artwork's like them in, like, cool armor and stuff, but when you really realized that it was them, like, wearing Wendy's employee gear, you're just like, okay... Nanny? Here, actually, what I can do. So, this is Feast of Legends, like, artwork. So I'll punch my microphone real fast. And this is what it kind of looked like. The Ice Jester, it's Mick Ronalds. Just a lot of, like, the thing is, like, there's production value behind this game, which was the weird part to me, because there shouldn't have been. There should have been absolutely no production value behind this game. And if there wasn't, I think I would be happier for it. Here's the cursed image. Critical Role. What they don't want you to see. So, doing the 44, they did have some pretty interesting stats as well. You had things like con and strength being rolled together, intelligence just being mundane intelligence rather than magical intelligence, and then no wisdom, they're just being arcana, which is kind of interesting. Like, there's a bunch of little weird things that I'm like, this is actually a pretty nice idea. And then there was other points where I'm like, what? Let's see. Because I had a lot of bits. And one other thing is they had feast mode. Feast mode was your nat 20. Oh my goodness gracious, look at me. I'm so awesome. And you rolled a nat 20. It was called, you've entered, and let me do quote this, feast mode. And you just suddenly gain superpowers. And if you've ever read any of those nat 20 Lamau stories, it's literally nat 20. Yeah, and just all the dumb that goes along with it. I hate those stories, but I don't like D&D or anything associated with it. You became like this madman for a little while if you entered feast mode, and I ended up cutting it down quite a bit. Nat 1 pretty much was just Nat 1 was just like you just down the failure town where you belong, you people who rolled a 5% likelihood. Let's see. My ground rules. There were a lot of the classes. What I might do for the next stream is bring up the book, actually, and so we can just kind of do one for one, was that there was a lot of healing among the class abilities, which was kind of weird to me, because anytime you give a class a healing ability, it fundamentally changes how they play. Because I take 10 damage from an attack, but if I have an ability that lets me heal 5, I've only taken 5 damage according to the internal mathematics. Players get real weird when they have healing. I'm actually playing a campaign right now. We just started last week. I have a next session on Sunday, where one of my players focused really heavily on the healing aspect, and their risk assessments changed very drastically. Because normally I don't play with healers, and he made a dedicated healer class. So it's very interesting, kind of. Their threat assessment has gone from, oh man, I don't know, can we survive this fight, to, cool, we can heal through it. So taking that away was kind of one of my little ground rules. It's like, I need to reduce the amount of healing going forward. I also wanted to limit redundancy, because there's a lot of, I think there was 5 classes originally, half the abilities were shared among all of them, and it was like, +2 to this, +1 to this, do X damage to this. They were the same ability, and there are even some cases where they literally shared the ability with each other. I like the Ultimate's ability. I kept that. Then I made some. We got a little nuts in the threads, because my rage, you could say, my burning desire, my broiled hatred for this game really started on TG when this first came out. It was me, a guy named Hangry Anon, and there was another guy. They were the big people who kept making the threads. Hangry just wanted to make his Cooking Kingdom setting a thing. I was just mad at the setting in general. I was just mad at life. So I kind of ignored him. Maybe I shouldn't have. Oops. Sorry, Hangry Anon. if you're still there and not dead. But it's kind of settingless, or it's the Freshtovia, as it's called. It's literally an island-shaped burger. It's great. It's a burger-shaped island. It's wonderful. I love it. It's such a meme. But I decided to go with some other, you could say, brands. Because we had the Wendy's. I also put McDonald's there, Arby's, and the Burger King. Mind you, I called it the Burger King. Arby's is the best. I don't care what anyone says. Arby's, pay me. I will write you your own Feast of Legends. Give me all the money. I will write for you, Arby's. Let's see. When we were going down all the classes, I was just kind of trying to make things work at this point. Everyone wanted Wakfu classes. If you don't know what Wakfu is, it's a French cartoon series that has ludicrous lore, and I love it. It's like arguably one of my favorite settings out there. And one day I will get my dream, the dream of a Wakfu tabletop RPG that isn't broke as all hell, but it's hard to make it work because I like the show rather than the actual MMO it's based off of, because the MMO it's based off of is very MMO, and then you have the show, which kind of does its own thing. Because I can go in for a while. Later on, I'll see what I can do about a walkthrough game, but right now, we had Wendites, just McDonald's. I couldn't think of a Burger Kingsman. Arbites, Dairy Queen Sword, and Sanderites. You can see I just started gradually losing my mind as we got here. Words, sexy person, sexy people, sit finger looking good or something. Loud Pepsi Man soundtrack. Kill the bear, just a fucking bear. You can clearly see the point where it's just like, I have given up. I have given up hope. Don't worry about it. We've lost all sense of reason. So let's get to the actual book itself. So here we are. This is Feast of Legends, the Clapback Edition. Because they keep saying, they're like, oh, Wendy's PR is the Clapback Queen. So I'm just like, yep, this is my Clapback. I hate this game, so I fixed it. 48 pages it came out to be. So let's actually take a look here. So I did a little bit of fixing just when I was going through it earlier. So we have 8,800 words. Jesus. 48 pages. Good God almighty. So I also did this a lot with a lot of them and just replaced them with the Notepad. Just to signify that I have given up. Then my complete rant on this entire game, like that, this was literally just me ranting at this point. So it is a D20 game. This is actually my first foray into D20. Was my first foray into D20s. I usually don't play D20 games. I'm not a huge fan of them, if you want me to be perfectly frank. The main reason I'm not a huge fan of D20 is just that 5% variable across the board. It kind of lessens the fun for me, and it makes designing games actually kind of difficult in some places, because you're forced to accommodate for, you have a 5% chance of rolling a 1 and a 5% chance of rolling a 20 and that's a 20 variable. That's a 20 range there you have to worry about, and it's 5% either way. Like 2d6 your average is going to be about 7. 3d6 your average is going to be, I'm trying to think at the top of my head because I'm very good at my job. It's going to be about, I want to say 10. Yeah, 3d6 is about 10. And it kind of produces, just to me anyway, better results because you can more easily kind of plan around a range of dice rather than just a single one. But that's just me. It'll always be just me. So let's see, Clapback. full set of dice. 3 to 5 players, game masters ready to delve into the madness. Check is called 5, 10, 15. This is pretty average. 5, 10, 15. That's from Dragon's Crown. I'm making alt text for this now. Because I like Dragon's Crown. It's a great source for art. I haven't played the game in years, but I still love the look of it. Let's see. Advantage and disadvantage. This is pretty much just lifted straight from 5th edition in this kind of way. It's either take the highest or take the lowest with 2 d20s. If you want to be specific, 2 d20s. So feast mode is roll natural 20. They enter feast mode, which automatically succeeds at the action they were attempting, as well as conferring additional benefits. Character deals max damage on the target plus their damage die, or non-attack advantage on their next roll. Because pretty much what the idea with feast mode I wanted to do was give you kind of a momentum mechanic. And it's the, hey, I did something really good in feast mode. Hey, I rolled a natural 20 to break down a like a door or something with my foot, and now I can do something cool afterwards. It's kind of that momentum there, and I did that also by letting you kill yourself. So let's say you've entered feast mode, haha, I'm cool, and then you roll a 17. You can spend 3 of your health effectively. They're called hunger points, HP. Ha ha ha! I am so intelligent. I'm so good at my job. And you can kind of continue it. So it's kind of a risk reward, and being less like, yeah, I keep going with this this feast mode. I'm still getting all these big bonuses. I'm doing massive damage. I'm doing awesome things, but I'm killing myself at the same time. This is from Final Fantasy Ignis and a Final Fantasy 14. It had to be 14. OC by Nubaru, which I've never played Final Fantasy 15 Beautiful Carboy Adventure. However, I have played Final Fantasy 14, and I still have a friend who plays it religiously. I can't play that game because MMOs are evil, and if I play them for too long, I will inevitably play them for hours on end, and that's bad. I am a potato anytime I play one of those games. It's awful. So, Famine is kind of the polar opposite. You roll 1, you fail. And you automatically leave feast mode, and just immediately ends their turn, or you have disadvantage on your next roll. Famine is kind of bad when you get characters like, oh, you can take a second action. You rolled a 1, it's over. Your turn's done. Even if you had a second action, it's over. D-O-N-E. Okay, let's see. So I actually put the ranges in here. Strength encompassing. I always will do that with, if you'll notice if you go through all of these, which, dealing how I get like 0 viewers, I don't know who would, is I do the basic description, what is the ideal, someone with high, someone with low, just kind of giving them a little bit of giving you, the players, a little bit more info about it. Also, this is Colonel Sanders from the Colonel Sanders dating simulator, because Colonel Sanders has a dating simulator, which I still need to play one of these days just to fully bask in that finger-licking good glory and lose and just off myself at that point, because clearly I've lost all will to live. Let's see. This is actually just like one of my, I've had this like piece of character art in my character art folder for years, and I just enjoy it. It's by Maliki Plezinski. I can see it down there in the corner. I've never been able to actually figure out who it is. I googled the name and nothing comes up, but be ready for my autism bonus. Actually, what I should do, should put pluses there. I also put in a point buy system. This is from Dungeon Meshi. I always feel that you should give, anytime you have a bit of a randomness when it comes to character generation, you should always give the option to have something a little bit more, dare I say, I wouldn't say stratified, but a little bit more player decision-wise. Like, you're fundamentally not going, Because there's always a chance you're going to roll top line across the board stat wise. You're going to be an awesome god among men. There's also a chance you're going to roll 4 or just 1. So this is kind of the compromise. Like, you didn't get a good roll, don't re-roll, just do your point buy. That's my compromise on it. That's what I always think is a good thing to do. And I also give some point buy arrays. Yeah, this is... If I'm going to make any major changes, it'll probably be to HP and temporary HP. Just because of its nature. Because the idea was that you can't restore hunger points very well unless you eat. But you can have temporary HP, which just is automatically reduced to 0 at the end of combat, or if you take damage. So, defense, order base, plus armor, plus grace. Probably get a rewrite there. This is actually my character sheet. I mean, it's really actually one of my nicer character sheets that I made. This is SPRUG, my heavy weapons beef boy, my Feast of Legends test character. Yeah, actually, see, like, characters actually are pretty hardy in this game. Like, if going straight out, you get about 34 health. Hitting 16 defense, but I also have, light armor. Grace wasn't, Arcana wasn't high, Intelligence wasn't very high. If we go to the level 5 variation, he actually doesn't get that much more health. As you can see, he only gets about 14 more health overall. But he does get a lot of these. These are the abilities, really what makes a character a character. That's what really makes it work. Again, if I'm going to do anything, I'm probably going to fix up the skills section too, because skills are kind of come as you go. Probably some more things on the weapons. So we have our base classes. We have the chicken, beef, and sides. Oof. All right. Yeah, that's actually the Feast of Legends character for the Baconator. It's not very accurate. You can see his armor isn't really accurate to setting, because in setting it's a Wendy's uniform, which I've actually seen that guy at my local Wendy's. He's a pretty nice dude, actually. I've seen him. Let's see. Pretty much I tried to make these the rogue, fighter man, magic man distribution. The Holy Trinity is called the Holy Trinity for a reason. So, let's see. Yeah, I think I might get a list, like a nice list of skills. Just put them at the bottom. That might be a good idea. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Things to fix in Feasts of Legends. The Clapback. Skill overhaul. I'm actually going to do equipment overhaul because I know I'm going to have to fix some of that up. Let's see. Strength check 13 or higher. If they fail, they take 1. pretty much I split it up between actions. Pretty much you have to spend your turn to do the thing. Bonuses, pretty much you just augment one of your abilities, or a passive ability, which gives you, it just kind of applied to, actually, I have it right here. Passive ability, don't need an action to use, or just a straight character upgrade. I also modeled this a little bit after 4th edition, you know, burn me at the stake, but 4th edition's a great game if you just don't think it's a D&D game. Like, if you apply literally any other name to it, it would have been actually a pretty decent game, but the problem is D&D, but I could talk about that for a while, but I won't. What is this? Okay. Yeah, as you can see, all throughout here was literally just me referencing Vermintide, Vermintide 2, and hashtag my girl Sienna, even though it's hashtag my boy Kruber I play most often. Let's see, skill and range weapons and light weapons. This was the first big buffer class that heals people using temporary HP a lot, because they get, come on, get up right away. 1d4 plus charm. Bastion of the party is pretty useful. Whenever the party has a meal, they roll advantage on their next roll. Pretty much what a meal is effectively a rest. Like, anytime you rest, you have a meal. That's the thing there. We Live Together is a Warframe reference, because I was obsessed with Warframe during this time, I think. Where I listened to We Live Together, like, on repeat, for like days on end, because I'm a weirdo like that. It's been years since I've actually played it, but I just like listening to some music, and I just like to watch people play it. We're Gonna Live Forever. It's a Dead by Daylight reference, actually, with my boy David King. Wait a second. Sorry, I had to die there for a little bit. We're gonna live for. Come on, get up affects the entire party. May spend hunger to add additional temporary HP. Together for victory. Hearts of Iron reference. Go. Technically, I should go. Go, Gom, go. Go. On their next turn. Yeah, and level 5 abilities turn out to be kind of like their ultimate ability. That's like the perfect culmination of awesomeness about the character. Let's see. Master and Commander was pretty broke. Blood and Steel. The grilled chicken sandwich. I forgot I have all these stupid things. Yeah, that's actually going to be another thing. Social groups and such. If only just for this and for future play, I think having social groups might actually be a good addition in the long run. They ran away, brave. So, chicken sandwich. Yeah, these guys ended up turning into like the bard characters. which I actually, I'm weird. I enjoy bards in games and skill monkeys like that, but that's just me. Some people hate bards. Yeah, what was actually my favorite? No, my favorite D&D character was was a fighter. Hawkrim. Hawkrim the fighter. Human male fighter. The most generic man alive, but he had his magic +1 sword and he was depressed all the time because he traveled with far more interesting people and I was so confused on what his god should be in Forgotten Realms. I think I settled on in Modder by just being like the depressed, meanest, like put upon superhero that I was. I was the one keeping everyone alive though. Let's see. You just kick someone in the balls with that one. I think that Nuggets in general are going to need a little bit of an overhaul. You can also probably hear that helicopter going by. I live next to a hospital, so Life Flight likes to come by every now and again, and I used to count them. I don't do it anymore because there's so many, which I don't know if that's good or a bad thing. Let's see. Order of the beef. I am the meat. Yeah, mind you, this is going to trigger someone. The Sawsome Burger. What I'm actually going to do. And Sawsome to dictionary. Yep, there we go. I've officially added Sawsome to my personal dictionary, and it just kills me on the inside. Oh God, help me. Help me, please. Dance with me. Oh yeah, these guys just became the gladiator from For Honor. Adonis Fortuna Yvonne. Vivant? I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, I effectively was just like, let's play For Honor a little bit. Like For Honor is actually really good for some of the combat systems I've written. It's been a while since I've actually played the game, but the way characters handle themselves and the way characters interact with each other and the kind of the three-part system, I actually try to adapt to Tabletop. Like I know how to do it, and it would just be a lot of work for something that's done better in someplace else. But let's see. Yes, the Dave Burger. Wendy's does not actually have really good names for their burgers or anything like that. So I ended up having to improvise, known as the Dave. I'm actually going to put clean up skills and targets. mark there. Let's see, double down. Yes, order of the size where we get frosty. Yeah, I might also give the frosty a little bit of changes because their entire thing is based around cold snap, dealing one. Pretty much, you have 45 feet to do 1d4 cold damage. That's it, and it just levels up. They also have these two abilities, which are kind of weird. Gives it advantage on their next action, but next action will be at disadvantage, and vice versa. Yeah, I might have to review that a little bit. I might change that. Kind of change how these actually work as well. Doing like opposed rolls and such. Order the Baconator fries. This is effectively a muscle wizard. Now wow. No wow. I use the word meat too often. Fries channels their meaty pride into a single all-out attack. Oh, God. Why did I write that? Why did I write any of this? Wrong kind of N. One thing, too, is you can also multi-class pretty easy in this game. I kind of made it on purpose that you can multi-class pretty easy. And there are some pretty decent rules for to multi-class, so you can be a Baconator and choose, rank level in order of the chili and get things like analyze and buy the book. That's actually pretty nifty, and that's why you may be looking at some of these like, that's not very useful. Why would I ever pick that? Because you can also mix and match pretty easy. Make your meal of a character. Haha, see what I did there? I'm a genius. Help. Yeah, these kind of guys turned into druids. God damn it, I've dipped in blood and fried in glory. Oy vey. Let's see. I actually don't use grids very often. I usually use a thing called SD, space distance, which is kind of a more an abstract movement. In later games we go over, you'll see space distance has been applied to a lot of different things. That's mostly because the setup I use from when I play games. I just use Discord, and we have a roller app on Discord, and we don't use Roll20 or anything like that. So I've had to model my games around that a little bit. So it does produce some interesting things. So this one was kind of a thing for me. Let's see. Yeah, you can also see some of these are, I'm actually gonna put in here, fix up actions in combat. Yep, that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm also going to have to do this slightly different. I actually had, for another game, a friend of mine made a chart for me. So I'll probably just put that chart in here. Also, do I have Artist Crest for either of these? No. Ailments. Large blunt object. Oh, wait a second. I say again because across multiple games I've done at this point, magic has always been kind of a punch in my face that I have to fix, and I know exactly what I need to do with it. It's just going to take time to do. So let's see. One of their class and health die addition to their HP, +1 to any of their class attributes, skill of their choice. These set of order abilities is allowed to select any order ability within their class. A character is allowed to select an order outside their class, but they must choose a level 1 or highest available. Yeah, I might clean up the wording here a little bit. It's the idea being, I am a beef class. And I am a beef class level 3. I can select any other beef class at level 3 or below. However, if I wanted to go to a side class, I start at level 1 regardless. So that's kind of the weird way on how I did level ups. So I might change this. I might change this section quite a bit. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Clean up advancement. Let's see. We are a little bit over halfway. Oh, my usual, the usual suspects in the melee weapons. You know what I'm going to do? I want to add more weapons. What is the armor? Yeah, grace modifier to 0.0. Yeah, I'm going to change that, actually. Yeah, I want the armor penalty. I always pull punches when it comes to armor penalties. Yeah. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? Fix up equipment in general. More weapons. More armor. Clean up armor / armor penalty. Yeah, because that doesn't make any sense. If you have your grace, if you reduce that by your grace, that means you'd have... Yeah, I gotta look at the mathing on these ones again. And there also was a very elaborate fishing mechanic in Feast of Legends, like overly elaborate. Like they spent an entire page going over the fishing mechanic. So here it is. Here's your fishing mechanic. Why? Because it's apparently essential to the Feast of Legends experience. Now we get to the cooking part. Have a snack or a meal. Yeah, no, I went kind of ham on the cooking, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put in a note here, and I want to expand the cooking. I want to expand the cooking mechanics. I want to make it the most bizarrely in-depth cooking mechanics I can get. I want this to be the dungeon meshy RPG we never needed. Based off Feast of fucking Legends. Jesus. Let's see. Monsters and other terrible things. Yeah, I also do this quite often with a lot of games. Instead of giving like a full-on in-depth bestiary or something akin to that, I just give like a how to create monsters instead, and it's turned out relatively okay. Sometimes I say relatively. There's some points where it doesn't work at all. Let's see, Knight of the Whopper. Hello, phone. What do you want? Hello, Duolingo. You want to tell me to practice my Chinese? Oh, 很高兴. You know, I also have coronavirus. I know, laughs in Chinese. I don't. I've never actually been to China. How much time this? Double. Tribe of the fish fillet. It's yeah. These are proof of concept classes more than anything. The fish fillet chicken class, chicken of the sea, I guess. And let's see. Night of the rodeo crispy chicken. What the? Yeah, you can kind of see where I started to gradually lose faith in my humanity, as it's just pancakes. Just naming what it is. I didn't even put these into a table. Oh, goodness. Yeah, these are my... Yeah, alright. Here, let's add in all the big think time classes. Alright. Here we are. We've reached the end. We have our stuff to fix. It's Feast of Legends. For the sake of completeness as well, this is Starved Legends. As I said last stream, Starved Legends was created because someone was like, this is dumb and I hate food, so I just wanted... How do we make a game without food? And I'm like, alright, screw it. Here's Starved Legends. Crash Diet Edition. It, as you can see by the names, it gradually descended further into my own madness. And that summarizes this entire thing. What is this? Good God. I've actually... Yeah, because I tried to take out every mention of food or food-related characters in it and try to replace everything as well with just Notepad, Notepad men, Notepad folk. Good old Notepad kin. Oh, God. My love affair with Paint.net. Yeah, this image right here, this image right here is what made me go down the path of darkness that I did with this one, the complete path of no return that soon came to devour this project. Because I was just like writing names at this point. I was just stupid sexy rogue, lovely roguish rogue, nubile and stabby rogue. It just gets worse. Sexy Conan fighter, sweaty agile fighter, heavily armored lover fighter, cold and smooth mage, big buff magic folk, hunky magic folk, all natural magic folk, hot, sweaty, and covered in fluids combat. Oh my God. Ah, God, this is beautiful. Why did I ever stop writing this? Oh, wait, because it was a meme. It was always a meme. Oh, goodness. Let's see. This is effectively me when I was writing this entire game at this point. And some good old-fashioned Notepad coin. All right, so yeah, as you can see, this is a very cut-down version. I may update this along with the changes that we make here. I may not. It's the madness I was going through when I did this. Mind you, I had to do these all like individually in Paint.net to tell you the dedication I had to this, my hatred of this game. So, all right. So let's Notepad Anon fixes Feast of Legends. We're going to make a new thing here. We're going to post all of these right in here. Make it official. Go here. For the base version. All right. And you know what this means? We want to make a copy. It'll take a little bit. Feast of Legends, base version. There we are. I'm gonna put that right there, just so the reason why I'm putting it there is it should update with it. No, it's not. Ah, new. All right, there we are. It should update soon, telling me that's the new one. But we are ready to go. We're going to start with this. I will probably be deciding what we want to start with over the course of tomorrow to get where we need to go. But thank you all for watching. We've been streaming for a little bit over an hour now, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. God, what are we doing?